Murphy. Hey there, neighbor. Great to meet you this morning, or re-meet you, or whatever. That was fun. Obviously, we were all over the map, trying to cover a lot of different topics that were varied and interesting. But I'm trying to boil it down to what I think is the essential takeaway that you can apply to the guitar this week. The 12th fret is the magical fret where you reach the octave. That's because there's 12 separate notes in the chromatic Western scale. So take each string and just practice playing open to the octave. B, B, G, G, D, D, A, A. Then go ahead and play a major scale on the first string. That starts even, open 2, 4. Pick one finger, your first or your second. And then it goes odd, 5, 7, 9, 11, and you know where it ends. My right hand, I'm just using my index finger to pluck. You can rest your thumb on one of the low strings and just pluck with your index. The next articulation is to play each note twice. And this scale works for all 6 strings, so you can keep switching strings to make it interesting. Okay, the next was the on-off, and I'll do this in B major on the B string. So it's O, O, 2, O, 4, O, 5, O. I gave you the sliding scale. I'll do this in G. You start by hammering on open to 2, and then you strike and slide. We talked about triads, which are chords that are 3 notes. So an interval is 2 notes. Melodies are 1 note at a time. An interval is 2 notes played simultaneously or separated as a pair. But a chord technically is 3 or more notes. And the principal type of chord that underlays all Western harmony is called a triad, and that's 3 notes. So if I play the first 3 notes of the scale, if I play the first, third, and fifth note like this, okay, that's the first note of my E major scale, the third note, and the fifth. Root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth. If you leap out to the fretboard and you play 9, 9, 7 on your first 3 strings, that's the same notes. You can hear that. This is an E major triad. It's more of a lead guitar kind of chord. But my broader point is that to make a chord minor, you ask that question. It's a hard question to answer for guitar players who've been playing all their lives. But you flatten the third of the triad. So this is root, third, fifth, root, flat, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, root, flat, third, fifth. You can move this down to 7. Now it's a D major. You go down to C. Excuse me. Okay, and then we apply that to the basic chords you already know. So even though it's not clear why in an E chord your first finger is playing the third, it is. And you can prove that to yourself. When you go minor, all you do is flatten that third. It's because you can rearrange the notes in a triad so that the third's on top or in the bottom or in the middle. When you see this A going to an A minor, that's the third that's changing. Same thing here with the D, and I taught you a new chord, D minor. Hey, love, I'm finishing an important video. I'll be right in.
No. Is there anything else you need from Whole Foods on here?
Let me think. No, I'm fine. We're fine. Thank you.
Okay, if we have popcorn, we decided on Bunny Grahams instead of chips and salsa. So
Great. See you soon. Bye.
Love you, bye.
Okay, so that's the application of the theory of triads to your chords that you already know, even though it's not clear why that high note in each case is the third. It is. But more importantly, I had you play these chords and separate out the root note. So the root note is the lowest note of a chord. It's the bass note of a chord. So for an E chord, it's your open E string. I want you to go root, chord. Just practice separating out that root note. Try on E minor. Then go to A major, root, chord. It's open A string, A minor, same root. And then on the D minor, D string is the root. Now what I was driving at with your bar chords, and we didn't quite have time for, is that if you took an E major and you played it with these outer fingers, okay, it's the same chord, same notes, but now you can shift it up the fretboard and add your first finger as a bar, and you've preserved the relationships of the notes, but you've just shifted everything up half a step. So this is an F major, whereas in the open position with the open E root, it's an E major. So we went from E to F. Now since we're a sharp key instrument, which means we primarily use sharps instead of talking about flats, we can go F to F sharp major, it's a half step higher, to G major, to G sharp major, to A major, to A sharp major, and so forth. You can stop at A, the 5th fret, that's an important one. So that A major bar chord is the same notes as an open A chord. They're interchangeable A's in most instances. You can do the same thing with an A minor shape. So you notice that E major and A minor, I'm sure you've noticed this before, is the same shape. So if you play that with your outer fingers, and now I want you to move it up, A minor, move it up 1 fret and add a bar, A sharp minor. Okay, move it up again, B minor. B doesn't have a sharp, it goes right to C. B, there's a C minor, then I get C sharp minor, and then D minor. Here you probably want to keep going to D sharp minor, and then finally E minor. So that's a substitute for this E minor. You've been playing these bar chords for years without realizing necessarily that one of them is based on the shape of an open E, and we call that E form. One of them is based on the shape of an open A minor, we call that an A form. So those are the principal shapes that we use to build bar chords on the guitar, the E and the A shape. So that's it. We have the basics about triad, root notes, the major scale, and all these things will be developed over time. All right, brother, good to meet you today. Have a nice weekend.